Alrighty, this is the July 7th, 22 Farmdale Sanitation District meeting. Call order. We have Ray Smith present and Charles Burnett is present. Hank Swigert is virtual, and we have Ann Northcutt and Robert Hewitt virtual. And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
David Foster.
And David Foster here in person from RCAP. Sorry. If there's anybody I don't see, I can't expand that. I think you got that?
Yep.
All right. All righty. We'll move on to the approval of minutes from June 2nd.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I've reviewed them out. I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
All righty. We're going to move on to Ray's treasurer report.
Alrighty, we started June 1st with $139,452.59.
Sorry for the delay. I'm on.
Good job. We took in sewer fees of $38,254.06. CAECO refund insurance for $50.95. Interest of $412. We had expenditures of $49,513.66. We ended June 30th with $128,248.06. No activity on the KIA loan account. Our grant account started out with $37,823. We issued a draw check of $23,400 to HMB. We got in a fiscal court match deposit of $20,042.95. A KIA direct deposit of $16,358. I mistakenly deposited CAECO refund in this account instead of the other, so I moved it out, and that was $50.95. We ended June with a total in that account of $50,773.58. Payments for this month, $145.49 to the plant board, $4,629.27 to Bluegrass Energy, $217.40 to Farmdale Water, $766.44 to Pace Analytical, $485 to Casey's Lawn Service, $12,253.05 to Capital Wastewater, $12,920.64 to Allied Pump. It should be $86.50 to Public Services. That 8 didn't get on there.
So that should be $86.50.
Yeah, $86.50. It came in yesterday. I should have checked that closer. $949.75 USA Blue Book for chlorine tablets. $9,450 to Hills Electric, $100 for a leak reimbursement, $356.44 compensation to each board member. The EPA grant, I took the $50.95 out, so I'm reflecting it there. That was the CAECO refund that was in the wrong account. And we had a draw check this month of $36,350 to HMB for draws 18 and 31. These clear out, our account should have a balance of $81,174.45. We should get sewer fees in the next day or two of around $38,000 to $40,000 to bump that back up over $100,000 slightly. And that's it for this month. If anybody has any questions. I've got the bank statements here that need to be checked and the invoices.
All righty. We'll check them. One good thing, I think, and Carl Gross, our operator, is not present. I think he's on vacation today or out of town. But that, the pump,
Right.
the Allied pump, that's gonna be going away. Because they got that, sounds like they're gonna finish it up the next day or so. So that's gonna
sound
be,
like.
that'll be a big expense that ain't gonna be on our monthly, so.
And that 12,900 was for 2 months because they missed the cutoff date last month.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be great to get that shut down. Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Should I make a motion? Since it's my report. Oh, well, I guess.
I'll make a motion to approve all payments.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right. All righty. So moving on, we got Mr. Lyons leak reimbursement. We'll cut him a check for that. That's how we do that, right? We don't, it's not a credit on the account. It's more of a,
No, we just sent him a check.
send him a check. All right.
It's right here in the stack.
All righty, we'll move on to Quail Run project status. We have got all our easements required. We have our loan from the KIA to sign to get that project started. We have met with our contractors. They are ready to get started, but they are not ready with material, and that's fine. It's understandable right now with the way things are. But what the contractor wants to do is get all materials in hand and then start, because he has a window of time to complete
Right.
that. So we had a pre-construction meeting the other day. It went well. We went over all the terms with all parties involved, with engineers, H&B, and the contractor, and it looks like we're gonna get that project done here soon. Looking forward to it. I know we will need to, y'all need to give me permission to sign the loan documents. And Hank, have you seen those? I know I forwarded y'all the pre-construction, the packets, and the loan. I put y'all on the emails with the loan information. Have you had time to look at it?
Briefly.
Okay. One thing to note, that loan is for $300,000.
Yes.
And because of timing, we already had in the works to have that $30,000 contingency. The paperwork and the loan doesn't reflect that, but they already were working on getting the other paperwork. We'll have something else to sign for that 30,000.
Yeah, I
that's
saw
right
that.
here.
Um,
Probably need a motion for that too.
So we do have, did it come in? Okay. So
Well,
what
we have to sign this
okay,
agreement before they'll.
issue or add it to
Yeah.
the proposed loan. So what we need is a motion to sign the loan documents, or give me permission to sign the loan documents and get that started with a KIA. So that's where we're at with this project. We're ready to get the loan signed and get started whenever the materials are available, which he didn't think it was going to be too awful bad getting the stuff together with the amount of footage I think it's a total of 1,200 feet of pipe. So, so that's where we're at on the, so,
I'll make a motion to sign the loan agreement papers.
okay. I will second that motion. All in favor of me signing these loan approval documents, say aye. Aye. All right. So,
Yeah, you want to do this? Yeah.
yeah, so we can go on and we need to make a motion on this one as well, right?
Yep. There's a resolution that says it's because our debt ratio is so bad that we can't get the other 30,000 because they can't be assured that they're going to get paid back due to how much we're bringing in and how much we're spending. This is a resolution that says we're going to raise the rates as required to get our debt ratio in line with their requirements by next July.
Okay.
And they have to have this to send it to their board of adjusters before they'll vote on giving us the $30,000.
Okay.
So in order to get the extra, we have to sign that and I have to send it to them tomorrow
It has to be going tomorrow, doesn't
or tonight. I'll probably do it when I get home tonight if it passes.
it? Hank, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion that we sign this letter from the KIA saying we will be adjusting our rates to get our debt ratio in order to be a sound.
So they know they can get paid.
So we can pay them.
That's July of 2023, right?
That we have to do something by July of 23. But for the extra 30,000.
Yeah, but the rate raise goes into effect when?
We haven't got that part yet.
Yeah, we ain't got that far yet.
10-4.
So just letting them know that we'll do it sometime before next year.
Okay. Okay.
Sooner the better, they said.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna make a motion that we sign this, saying that we will have a rate increase before July 1 of 23.
Second.
See me, my motion. Hank, are you done? You got that? Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty, so we will put this with all this loan, and we'll get this signed when before it's over with. Our next thing is kind of part of Ray's report, but we have a KIA draw request number 32 for $10,510. And it's a part, the EPA draw request number 19 for $12,845 is kind of all together, but
But we won't pay that till next month.
so this will be for the next month.
We approve it and then they cut
Okay.
the checks and deposits.
I
This will
will,
be in the next month's.
I'll make a motion to pay our KIA or to do a draw request for our KIA number 32 for the amount of $10,510.
A second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go on and make the motion for our EPA draw request number 19 for the amount of $12,845.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You good on that one, Rick?
Yes.
All right. Moving on. CASOP status, I haven't heard anything. Ray, or not Ray, Robert, have you heard anything from the city?
Sorry about that. I've talked to Kenny. He's got it 90% complete. So he's just been covered up with his projects, but they've got it almost there. But no, I have nothing in hand.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Carl's absent. So Carl asked me to do his report for our plants. See, looks like I'm assuming his report,
Don't do that.
Mhm.
is that date wrong? You would think,
Possibly.
being that's.
I'd say probably.
All right. Hey, Hank, and Carl's report, it looks like he's made a typo. It says May, but we believe that it's a June date.
Okay.
That we'll send. I'm pretty sure because this is not duplicate. So, all right. However, on 205 Cherry Lane, and a homeowner call, report a backup. They did not have a clean out, and the lateral line outside the home was trying to be unclogged. The homeowner was hitting a blockage at the road. It looks like Carl come out and inspected the main line and found that we had roots, and he had Buchanan cut the roots out of the lateral lines and install a clean out for separation for us and the homeowner. On the same day, June 17th, looks like 106 Ravenwood. We had a customer saying that we had standing water that smelled like sewer. He went and inspected it and tested it for ammonia, and it actually come back as positive as ammonia. So the customer, I do not believe on this one. They did not have a clean out, so he had them do an Buchanan do an inspection and found that there was roots in the tap, near the tap, and had those removed by Buchanan. On June 25th, me and Hank actually called him for the Highwood pump station not pumping. And turns out he had to put the systems in hand. It was not bypassing, but it wasn't running when the floats were at the level. So he's kind of the gist. He's wanting to, on this, possibly looking at get a backup pump there.
He had a float issue too, didn't he?
Yeah, I had a float issue, so. But he got that one back up and going. On Coolbrook, had a chemical pump system go down after inspection, repaired the chemical pump, and it's back online. We had power outages, quite a few this month in that area, and it was messing with our stuff. So the controls for the pumps, I think, had to be reset. But he's waiting on some parts for that system. Farmdale, as I mentioned earlier, the new pump station basin well has been installed, and one pump has been put in, and one pump I think is getting wired up. Hopefully, he said that he's going to have that pump basin ready to go here the next day or so. So that's Hank, if you ain't been there, that's the one that has the big lagoon out and off Green Wilson.
Yeah.
Off of what's the road that runs across the front there?
Peachtree.
Peachtree.
No, sir.
So I know that's not as good as Carl normally does his report. But that's kind of the gist. Does anybody have any questions? I know me and Hank met him at the one on Highwood, and it was said honestly been a pretty good week or a pretty good month is what he was telling us. So all in all. So all righty, that's our Carl's report. All righty. Moving on, we've been talking about rate structures and pricing and the way our money coming in is not reflecting as much as going out. And honestly, it's been advised by numerous groups that we need to discuss a rate increase. And, kind of, there's some facts to prove it with numbers as well. At the rate of keeping these old plants going and the wear and tear and lack of previous maintenance, we're trying to keep everybody systems running and sewer out of your creeks and out of your yards, and but doing that as a cost. And with that, I know we've kind of bounced around the money coming in versus going out. Do you want to go over some of those numbers?
Yeah, I'll give you the basics on that. I did the latest, well, these aren't the latest months, but a 12-month period from May of 21 to April of 22. We took in $488,000 in income from sewer fees. Our expenses were over $697,000. So we had a loss of $209,000 in that period of time. It's actually a little more if you add the last 2 months. If you had June or May and June of this year, it's actually a little more than what this report shows. But we're showing an average monthly income of a little bit over $40,000 and expenses of $58,000. And we just can't keep going. We're losing at least $10,000 a month on average. And I worked up a new budget that comes out to $650,453 based on last year's expenses. And our income is only around $490. So since we're losing $10,000 a month, we've got about not very much longer. We're going to be in trouble.
Right. And that's hoping we don't have nothing catastrophic.
Right. And we reached out to RCAP, which is Rural Community Action Assistance Program. And Dave Foster is with that group. He's very good with numbers, doing this kind of things. We brought him in to give us what he thinks.
Some insight. I mean,
it turned out to be pretty close to what I had already, but we might turn it over to David on this.
What's your thoughts, David?
Well, for the people that weren't here in the room with us, just a little background about me. I spent about 9 years at the Public Service Commission in the Financial Analysis Division, processing rate cases. So fairly knowledgeable about how this stuff is calculated. I met with Ray a couple weeks ago. He got some financial information to me. After compiling the numbers that he gave to me and calculating it based off of an operating ratio, which is a common way that utilities calculate rate increase expense for utilities that have no debt. And currently, since Farmdale does not have any debt, I use the operating ratio. Using that method, my calculations had an operating expense of 762. Well, I calculated it two different ways. One was with the included expense from the muskrat incident that occurred last year at the
Farmdale
lagoon.
plant.
And then I calculated with that removed, because typically in a regulatory aspect, that amount would have been amortized over the year and the whole thing would not have been expensed all at once anyway. So I think a more accurate way is to look at it with that amount removed. If you do look at it that way, the operating expenses that I calculated for a fiscal year that ends June 30th of 2022. So we went back to July 1st of 2021 till just the other day, the end of the fiscal year. I calculated an operating expense of $651,116. If you calculate that by the operating ratio, basically what you do is you take the revenues and you divide them by the expenses, and you come up with a number that is the allowable net operating income. And then you multiply that by the operating ratio, which ends up giving you an operating revenue, which bakes into it basically a 12% increase for expenses such as, events that occur that aren't normally occurring, like you all are having a lot lately.
Right.
So the amount that comes to is $739,904, $739,904. You subtract those original operating expenses that were calculated, so your allowable net operating income is $88,789. When you plug that into the revenue requirement calculation, you take the operating expenses that you calculated, the $651,116, you add the allowable net operating income from the operating ratio calculation of $88,789, which gives you a revenue requirement of $739,904. From that, you subtract the present rate revenues, which are $485,249. It leaves you with a required revenue increase of $254,655, and calculated as a percentage, that comes out to 52.48% increase. And here I have a sheet that shows basically the effects of, if you increase that, what the average customer's bill would be, what the minimum bill would be, and your all's per 1,000 gallons increase would be based off of that percentage increase. Your minimum bill would go from $25 to $38.12. Your per 1,000 gallons would go from $5 to $7.62. And based off of an average 2,500 gallon bill for a customer, their bill would go from $37.50 a month to $57.18 a month.
Appreciate your work on this.
Hank, I don't know if you didn't not get copies of David's stuff here. And I can send you those if you want to study them as well. We got them. We'll be with your paperwork. But he's pretty close on the number from what we have kind of thrown around. With his suggestion, and obviously knowing how bad we're struggling in the bank, and then KIA, hollering at us last week saying, if you don't do it, we're not going to give you no money, because we know we're not going to get our money.
Yeah. If we have a big problem, we have no access to loan or anything right now.
Right. So we're not
get anything.
We're borderline unfundable.
Yeah.
As far as loans and things like that.
And I'll say that's a common thing with KIA. When a utility's looking at taking debts out, they commonly expect to do a rate evaluation, and if there's one needed, they expect it to do it as a condition of the debt.
Right.
Because they don't want to own the sugar plant.
Right. Nobody does.
Hank, that's a 57. His recommendation is our average should be 57.18 per customer. That would be, of course, that's an average. Some people's will be less, some people will be more as far as I guess off usage. But that's 57 numbers where we need to be to continue operating these plants. And with his number, we've thrown around different ways of doing it, if possible. We could do a $44 base rate and keep the $5 per thousand. And that would be 57.50 average.
That'll be 57. You say 44?
Was it 44? Is
Yeah,
that a
44 comes out 57.50.
57.50?
Yeah.
That'd be right at his number. Off his formulas. I don't want a rate increase no more than anybody else does, and but with the price of everything going up, it ain't gonna run itself.
No.
I think that's what it's done for years, and that's why we're heading to shape we're in. So.
All right. And we were already low to start with. It should have been higher back in 2019.
Actually, if I remember, was Karen was showing us with Bluegrass Ad, I think we were at the cheapest of all sewer rates in the area. So.
That we probably got some of the oldest plants in there too, I would imagine.
Yeah. What's y'all's thoughts? Hank, what do you got? Any of the numbers you thought?
If we have a big issue, we have got to get it fixed. So if we got to raise it up to where that loan company will look at us, then we got to do it.
Yeah. Because right now we can't get another loan. And we can't, in a couple of months, we're not going to be able to pay our bills either. Probably no 3, 4, 5 months.
Right. If we made a decision on a rate, when would the soonest, would it be the second month before we would see?
Well, if we can make if we started August 1st, the bills would come out September 1st. We might see it, it'd either be October or November before we get the bill. I don't know how long Farmdale keeps that before they cut the check. I think they're 3 months behind. So it may be November 1st before we see a first increase. We'll have to be careful.
Wait, I got a question. They're 3 months behind?
I think that's the way it works. From when the billing period starts. Because you go a month before you even pay the bill.
Yes.
It's payable by the 10th of that next month, and probably have delinquents come in, and I think it has to go through their accounting system or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 before we'll see any income.
Well, if that's the case, we better do something, because you said just a second ago, within 4 months, we wouldn't be able to pay our bills.
Yeah.
Right?
We're down there. I mean, if
Yeah.
something big comes up, we're gonna have trouble now.
Yeah, if something out of the norm, we're gonna be in trouble.
Well, then we got to do something.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, going off, let's I personally like to keep the per 1,000 gallon charge on there the way it is. So I mean, my suggestion or motion I could make would be, let's move our base rate to $44 and keep the $5 per 1,000 gallon charge the way it is.
Just there.
You know, does anybody else, I mean, running numbers, does anybody else have any other rate suggestions that gets close to what's recommended by, obviously, people know more about rate structures than we do. Do you feel comfortable with that?
Yep.
Hank, do you feel okay with that?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion that we move our base rate to $44 a month with a $5 per 1,000 gallon charge.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
David, we really appreciate the work you did on this. I know
And the timely.
we put you in a rush.
And one thing, when you all have, if you all want to look at it somewhere down the line, we could, to be kind of more proactive, we were kind of crunched for time on
Right.
this time, but in the future, if you need us to, we can look at it again, say after your audit gets finished,
Mhm.
base it off of the audited numbers, which like I told you earlier, I don't think
Right.
is that drastic of a difference, but it's definitely something every couple of years you ought to at least be looking at.
Right. Yeah, they should be starting the audit pretty soon.
Yeah.
It may be November or so before we get the results, but
Right.
I do, I appreciate it. And
yeah.
I
appreciate your
know,
work.
I know you had very little time to get your,
It was a rush.
to get your things.
Yeah.
But again, we've, I won't say kick the can. Nobody wants to talk about this. This is the bad part of it ideally, but we want everything to be affordable, but it's got to work. It's got to run. It's got to be
It's
clean.
gotta be fixed. It's gotta be maintained. All that just got, and nothing gets cheaper over time, does it?
Right.
Nope.
Let's just hope some of this stuff will go down, but we do appreciate you. Hank, do you have anything?
Not at this moment.
Does anybody have any new business? It looks like we got piles of paper to sign. And you're gonna mail that letter to the KIA,
Yes,
gentlemen?
yes. I'll probably do that tonight when I get home.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, Ann, Robert, y'all got anything?
If you all will put that draw request, number 19 in that drawer, I'll ask Robert if he'll pick it up in the morning, or I'll have somebody from the office go in there and get it for the judge's signature.
This drawer over here, or,
Yeah, the one in the back by the sink where we put it last time.
okay.
Yes, and I'll do my best to remember again.
I think we found the last one from the last time in there.
Probably.
Well,
Now I'll get
appreciate
it taken
y'all.
care of.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Hank's got a beer waiting on him. There's some iced tea.
Yeah, I see. And sand.
Hey,
There you
Robert,
go.
Yes, sir.
let me know when we go off.
Oh, okay, I will. I'll shoot you a text.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.